The Hall of Powers was a grand meeting chamber that rivaled, in no small measure, the ceremonial chambers of the Palace of Kalanthar when it came to splendor. It carried with it a weight of its own, for within those walls many of the kingdom's most important decisions had been made. Its walls were adorned with countless ornaments, the tapestries depicting ancient battles against the Gorgons, while paintings of victories under King Mando's command hung beside others portraying mythical scenes from the founding of the realm. At the heart of the hall rose a monumental table of black kragan, flanked by 22 seats. At its head, 2 thrones stood empty, set higher than all the rest, preserving the dignity of power. The greater of the 2, carved with regal majesty, belonged to King Brian Kalanthar. Beside it, lesser only in height yet no less imposing, was the throne of Queen Thalindra Kalanthar. As soon as he entered the hall, Fenral's gaze fell upon the throne. After staring at it for a moment, he turned toward his seat, accompanied by his counselor and guardian Haurik Draven. As the other nobles who would take part in the meeting arrived, they exchanged discreet greetings and took their places. Not even here. Always absent when most needed, Fenral thought. General Gelid Einaros, a veteran of House Einaro and a commander of renown, rose from the first seat to the right of the throne. His graying hair fell heavily over his shoulders, and his presence filled the chamber with a silent authority, an effect masters could wield without ever needing to impose their will. Gentlemen, the king has tasked me with presiding over this emergency meeting to address the situation. Ortrus has escalated more quickly than many had foreseen. The offensive in the eastern hills was not an isolated move. Reports indicate a concentration of troops in the south and the use of giant mercenaries. Murmurs rippled through the hall, though no one seemed surprised. Fenral remained attentive. By His Majesty's decision, Gelid continued, the war will not be conducted solely by the Council of Generals. He paused, letting his gaze sweep over the room. The king has delegated command of the main forces to his children, assigning them according to strategic urgency. The silence that followed was heavy. The first prince, Bragal Kalanthar, leads the spearhead of the offensive, focused on reinforcing the defenses and protecting Durnhal, the largest northern border city. Gelid gestured to emphasize the importance of the place. Princess Selena is tasked with coordinating the second wave of reinforcements, gathering troops in Thornbridge, to the east near Durnhal. Prince Urin has been sent south to monitor the movements of the Gorgon. We cannot leave the southern border unguarded, lest we be struck on 2 fronts. Gelid turned his eyes to Fenral. Prince Fenral, your responsibility will be to lead the containment force in the west, in Draker, along a strategic route linking Durnhal to the kingdom's interior. It is an arid, sparsely populated region, yet vital, for through it essential supply chains will pass. It will not be the only route, but it is faster than the one that runs through Leonhart, east of Thornbridge. Fenral kept his expression impassive, though inwardly he felt disappointed. It was not the main front he had desired. Urin, seated to the right, allowed himself a faint smile. And what of Vermont? He asked with his usual softness. I've heard our cousin is in fine form. Will he be taking any command? Gelid hesitated for a moment. Lord Vermont remains in command of the forces of House Leonhart, east of Thornbridge, by order of the king. However, as the war progresses, he may be given new duties. Fenral frowned slightly. Another name in the contest. At his side, Ser Haurik Draven, his counselor and a veteran adept of the aura, leaned indiscreetly. It seems the king intends to use this war to test the claimants to the throne. A shiver ran down Fenral's spine. This is not merely a war against Ortrus, Gelid went on. It is an opportunity to demonstrate leadership, vision, and strength. The king believes it is on the battlefield that true warriors are forged. Fenral cast a quick glance at Urin. 5 sides. Perhaps 6. None declared, all real. Prince Bragal and Princess Selena have already departed. The rest are to be in motion within 5 days. So soon, murmured Lady Kelbrant from the back. War does not wait, milady, Gelid replied. And the enemy is already on the move. Fenral turned his eyes back to the empty throne. Not for the first time, he felt the weight his Kalanthar name placed upon him. Gelid bowed formally. May the flame of Kalanthar guide your steps. The meeting ended in silence. Fenral and Urin walked side by side through the cold stone corridors. You knew, didn't you? Fenral asked. I suspected, Urin replied. Father never had the strength to choose on his own, so he'll let the war decide for him. Soon the brothers parted ways. Haurik approached once more. My lord, if I may offer a word of counsel, on the battlefield, Ortrus will not be your only enemy. Fenrir nodded slowly. I know,